thanks to the support as a channel member, Kenny Gray. Well, we have a big game today against a Blackburn team that already look like they're just going to storm all over the championship this season. And I'm still not entirely sure what our best tactic is. I'll be fine. Hello and welcome to part 30 of Saving Man City. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that top of the table clash-ish with fifth. They're top though, so basically counts against Blackburn, and we're also away against Preston, which hopefully will be a little bit easier. They're down in mid-table. Since you were last with me, this is what has gone on. I mean, we had a little bit of a wobble. Started with us losing at home to Blackburn in the Moose Cup, and then we took a couple of games to get back to winning ways in the league, which we have now done with a 1-0 win over Reading, but we struggled. We didn't play great during that spell, and I kept finding myself switching to this 4-2-3-1 at various points of the match. I've not brought myself to start with it yet because we are, on the whole, doing okay. Remember, the media are expecting us to finish 11th, and we're in 5th, so we are overachieving, but we want to get promoted this year because of the money that we've spent. So I kind of feel like we might need to change something. We'll see how this goes. If we get thumped by Blackburn, we really might need to change something. The only other news is we have had transfer deadline day, and the main news coming out of transfer deadline day is that we didn't sign anybody else. We completed all our business early, but we did have a big sale. Joel Undala, who I don't think I've said his name for about 3 seasons. He was on the verge of getting into the team when we were in League 2, and then we loaned him out. He's never played a game for us. Sheffield United offered us 5 million now, and the potential for it to rise by another 5 million over the next few years. He's 20 years old and only has 3.5 stars of potential. It seemed like a no-brainer. So he is on his, well, he has left the club, which leaves us with a balance of 66 million. The projections aren't looking too disastrous, and fingers crossed money continues to be much less of an issue than it was in those early seasons of the save. So with that in mind, let's concentrate on football and trying to beat Blackburn. This is the team we're going to be putting out there for this match. We've got Trafford in goal, a back four of De Gasperi, Mbete, Dorrington and Ferguson. Forner at the base of the midfield with Webster and McAtee ahead of him. Philogene on the left, Farias on the right, Delap up front. Not only are we constantly swapping the tactic around in-game, I'm tweaking who's playing where. You can see today we've got Forner at the base of the midfield. It's the first time he's started there. We've always gone with a playmaker this season up until that point. But I figured with it being Blackburn, we want the tackling guy there, and we can play our playmaker a little bit further forward, but we need that little bit of extra protection for the back four. So that's a tweak specifically for the fact that we're facing Blackburn. And we're just trying different players. Philogene and Farias, I think this is the first time they've started on the wings. I'm still not sure who my best right back is. I'm not sure who my best left back is anymore after bringing in Norrington Davies in the transfer window. So there's a lot of not really sure what I'm doing. Certainly, I'm nowhere near knowing what my best 11 is at the moment. That is very much a work in progress. But here is Farias, so I feel like should be in the best 11, whatever it ends up being. He is quite the talent. The main problem he's got is we've also got McAtee. And there's Tyrese Forner, the other reason he's in the team, because we've seen him do this several times before. He's got that in him. I mean, we can't rely on him doing it. He only does it 3 or 4 times a season, but he picks his moments. He did it last year when we were in a horrible run of form and needed dragging out of it, and he's done it now against Blackburn. He might only be considered a 3-star player in this team of superstars that we've got now. But goodness me, attitude-wise and turning up when it matters-wise, he's so important. And I do like having a big boy sat there at the base of the midfield just controlling things. And that's exactly what we've done in this first half. We played very, very well against a very good Blackburn team. Tactically, got it spot on so far. Forner's protecting the back four. He's grabbed the goal. And Blackburn have an XG of 0.01 from the first 45 minutes of this match, which is about as good as we possibly could have hoped for. What we need now, of course, is a second goal, because we are always good for conceding a goal. And Blackburn have plenty of firepower in their ranks. So a second goal here would be lovely. Corner comes in. It's headed clear, though. And now Blackburn do have the chance for a counter-attack, and we could really do with just taking the ball off of him. In fact, they've lumped it forward quite aimlessly and given the ball back to us, and it's back with Trafford and now Mbete and De Gasperi as we look to build a counter to their counter. Philogene trying to play Delap in. I mean, it was an ambitious pass, and Delap was never going to make up the ground he needed to make up to put pressure on that defender, but it was a panicked clearance from the goalkeeper, and Blackburn now trying to get something going down our left-hand side, and they've got in behind Mbete there, and I'm hoping Dane Scarlett's offside. I don't know that he is. I mean, definitely Mbete was ruined there. He just turned too slow. It's not offside. I mean, look at the space Mbete's got, but then the guy just gives him the slip. That is the first time I've really questioned him. And Dane Scarlett, first goal of the season for him. Like I say, plenty of firepower. When they've got a guy like that just sat on the bench ready to come on, it's alarming. Blackburn are a very, very strong side. I mean, we showed that by the fact that last year we signed 3 of their reserve players who came straight into our first team, and they're still knocking around the place. So, yeah, they are a good side, Blackburn, and they're looking to show it again here as they come forward again. We played so well in that first half, less so in this second half. They've made the changes they needed to make, and they are coming at us. 20 minutes to go. What have we got? We've got tired players is what we've got, and Mbete is one of them. So the former Blackburn man, Hyam, can come on for him. Fauna is also tired. So I think Deli Bashiru makes sense to come on. What we might do is swap Webster back round to there and play Deli Bashiru as a box-to-box midfielder. And Webster needs to come off as well. That's not... I mean, I guess we can play Finley Burns. We're not going to play Finley Burns there. We're going to go back to what we were going to do there. Deli Bashiru as a defensive midfielder, and then Hamilton can be the playmaker, and we'll just carry on with the same shape that we've had up to this point, just with different personnel within the shape. We're offering some encouragement, and fingers crossed we can get a chance and grab a goal from somewhere. Philogene, after a good interception from McAtee, Philogene is off on a little run. Look at him go. And now Farias on the right-hand side. We've got players in the middle. If we can find a cross, Delap is lurking. Farias, he's very tricky, turning inside and out, and he has come away with the ball, drills it across. It's Philogene who gets on the end of it, and that's his first ever goal for the club, and that was wonderful work from Farias on the right-hand side. And it is the 2 wingers who I mentioned before playing at the same time for the first time, and they've combined there beautifully. But this was great from Farias, lovely work from him, and the wide man cutting inside as an inside forward is there to tap it. Well, no, he didn't tap it in. He whacked it in, didn't he? And I think deservedly, we're back ahead in this game. But now, once again, we've got tired legs around the place. Ferguson is tired. We don't have another right back around to bring on. So he's just going to have to stick it out. And Marquinhos is going to come on, though. On the right-hand side, Farias can move over to the left. And James McAtee is tired. So I think we are now going to do what we almost did before and bring on Finley Burns to play at the base of the midfield. We'll have Deli Bashiru as a box-to-box. Then Hamilton can be the playmaker on that side. And we just need to try and see this out. We've added a little bit more meat and muscle in the shape of Finley Burns sitting in front of the back 4. And fingers crossed we can see out what would be a very, very big victory for us against a very good Blackburn team. Marquinhos heads it across to Deli Bashiru. He can't get there, but there's big Finley Burns, and that's what he's there to do. And there's Liam Delap, and that's what he's there to do. Oh, lovely stuff. I mean, it was the inspired substitution of bringing on Finley Burns. I said I like having a big boy sat in front of the back 4, and this, where is it? It's here from Burns. That is so crucial, and it's a lovely pass from Marquinhos, and Delap is there to make it 3-1. And hopefully put this game beyond doubt. And not only that, put us within 2 points of Blackburn at the top of the table. We've been better than them today. I've talked a lot about how good they are. We've been much better than them today. We've learned a big lesson from the Moose Cup game. And now Liam Delap is going to try and make it 4. It was a lovely run from him. I mean, he probably could have squared it to one of these players who was trying to get up and supporting him, but he was never going to. With 2 goals to the good in stoppage time, and he fancied himself another goal because he's a proper striker. We nearly did grab another one there. It was Hyam trying to get one against his former club. We don't need a 4th. We're happy with 3. We're happy with 3 points, that's for sure. And we're very happy to, dare I say it, be in a title race. Nice, won't it? Who are we playing now? Preston on the telly. Lovely stuff. Oh, we've had a little bit of a midweek mini injury crisis, picking up a knock to Farias, to Mbete, also existing little knocks to Fiorini, Mundell. Lewis is injured, our backup goalkeeper. Seko has got a little bit of an injury as well. In fact, there's no point having a grayed out backup goalkeeper on the bench, so we'll just shove Hamilton on there as well, which means quite a few changes to the team. Ferguson is going to partner Dorrington at the back with Norrington, Davies and Britton as the fullbacks, because I don't know who my best fullbacks are. Petino comes back in. We're not playing against a team as good as Blackburn, so I don't feel like we need the big strong boy back here. We need the creative passer there for a team that we're much better than, and I think we're much better than Preston. So Patino comes in behind Webster and McAtee as a playmaker, and then we'll keep Philogene on the left and Delap up front, but Ibrahim comes in on the right after the injury to Farias. And Forner, probably a little bit unlucky to miss out, but I feel like he's a player who very much can come in and do a job when we need a job doing. But I don't see him being a nailed-on starter every week, because I don't think we need that role every match. I'm about to be proven wrong, aren't I? We're going to lose to Preston because the defence aren't adequately protected, especially when we've got a defence that doesn't have Mbete in, who's been a bit of a mainstay for a number of years now for us at the back. It's a little bit unusual for us to not have Mbete in the team, but he's picked up a knock. He did give away the goal in the last game as well, so maybe it might work out for the best long term, as trying out something a little bit different at the back with Ferguson and Dorrington as our starting centre backs. I don't imagine Ferguson's going to be a long term solution at centre back ever. But this is why I wanted the extra playmaker in, or the playmaker in that role, to try and create chances. And we are struggling a little bit. We've not had much in the way of highlights. But we do now have a corner, and it's Patino, and he's a bit of a set piece specialist. So he's going to float this into the far post, looking for Dorrington, and we've won another corner. So it should, I think, be Patino going over there again to take it from this side, and it is. And it looks like we're loading the front post this time. So that's where he should be aiming, and he does, but unfortunately, it's headed clear. And we have not created very much in that first half at all. Would we have created more if we'd have had the playmaker further forward? We might switch to, this is one of those situations where, give it 15 minutes, we're going to switch to the 4-2-3-1 and just try and do something different, because I'm still not really sure how best to overpower teams we should be beating. Who needs to? We've got Liam Delap, who's been given an absolute gift by the Preston defender. Goodness me. That's the sort of goal you'd be absolutely disgusted to concede. It's good work from Norrington Davies to win the ball back, but then the Preston defender comfortably takes it away from McAtee. Really sloppy pass back to his goalkeeper, though. And Liam Delap, pressing forward extraordinaire, is always going to be buzzing around in that 6-yard box looking for opportunities like that, and he wasn't going to miss. And we are 1-0 up. And I guess that means I'm not going to fiddle and go to the 4-2-3-1 after. I probably still will. I want to get McAtee more involved, and I don't think he gets as involved as he could do when he's playing a little bit deeper like he is. And I actually think this midfield three, you could just switch the tactic, and I think these three players would work fine. You can have Patino and Webster as the two, and have McAtee involved a little bit further forward. We might even switch to that now. Norrington Davies then to Patino, and now Webster. If we score again, we won't need to. Right, let's just stick him there. So, it changes very little other than it gets McAtee involved further forward, but Patino's still playing as the playmaker, just a little bit further forward. Webster's still a box-to-box midfielder, and I'm just hoping we get McAtee on the ball just a little bit more for him to play those killer through balls and get up there scoring goals. He is a goal scorer as well, McAtee. So hopefully from playing a little bit more advanced, we'll see a little bit more of that. It is Webster now playing it over the top, looking for Philogene and finding him. And there is the second goal, and his second goal of the episode. He looks like he's settling in nicely on this left-hand side, which doesn't bode well for Mundell or Ricky J. Jones, both of which have had their little runs in the team on this left-hand side, leading into Philogene getting his opportunity, and he is definitely taking his goals in back-to-back games, and we are really close to pushing in these automatic promotion spots. Right, it's substitution o'clock. let's make a few changes as usual. And I think we are actually going to switch back to the 4-3-3 because we're going to take McAtee off. So let's put that back to a Mazzala role, and we're going to bring on Micah Hamilton to play in that role. He's played there many, many times before. We're also going to take off Ibrahim, and Marquinhos can come in on that right-hand side. And then I think Patino can come off. We'll stick Forner back in. In fact, what we'll do is, we'll have Forner a little bit further forward because, again, I don't want him being a lump protecting the back four now. I want him a little bit further forward where he might get the chance to have one of his shots and do one of his goals. Webster now going to come off for Deli Bashiru, and you know what? I'm just going to leave him there doing that, and Philogene can come off for the aforementioned Ricky J. Jones. And I love the strength in depth we've got in this squad now. This squad, if we don't get promoted this season, I've done something very wrong somewhere along the line, because this is a squad that has lots of strength in depth. Even with a little mini injury crisis, we've still got the strength in depth that we've got today. We can comfortably play a couple of different systems. The one thing that might be a problem is we don't have an obvious starting 11, which is good in terms of squad rotation, but does indicate we maybe don't have that little bit of magic star power that you would want from a title-winning team. We need McAtee and Delap to step up and become those superstars. They're certainly paid as if they are. They earn far more than the rest of the squad, and they need to start proving why they do. I mean, Delap, to be fair, is scoring goals, so he's not doing any harm, and he is a nailed-on starter up front. I do want to see a little bit more from McAtee, though, going forward. But, I mean, we're nitpicking. Things are going very well. We're third in the championship. Long may it continue. Let's go get promoted. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much for watching.